Meeting's called to order for April 20th.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Councilman Asbill.
Present.
Councilman Buddy.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Chatelain.
Present.
Councilman Johnson.
Present.
Councilman Ricks.
Present.
Mayor Baudier is absent. Police Chief LaPree said he will be running a few minutes late. Fire Chief St. Cyr is absent. Finance Director Todd Turnion.
Present.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry.
Present.
Myself, Carrie Eustace, Clerk, present. Mayor's announcements.
Well, as y'all see, the mayor's not here today. He had arrangements he had to go to. And I just want to thank everybody, the citizens of Harahan and all. They had the Phil Fest 5K run at St. Rita last weekend. It was a great turnout. They had 300 runners. Did amazing. I want to say somewhere, somebody told me they raised $25,000, a little over $25,000. Also, our track and field, they've been had an amazing season. We had 60 girls, boys and girls from Harahan representing us in Jefferson Parish. 5 of them placed first in a parish championship. As some of y'all might have seen, 9th Street is closed. They started the lift station repairs at lift station number 8. We did that with some help from Jefferson Parish. Dino Bonanno helped us through Jefferson Parish to get some funding to help fund that, and the Delta Regional Authorities also helped with that. Capital session started in Baton Rouge, so we've been running back and forth to Baton Rouge on Tuesdays. It's Jefferson Parish Delegate Day, and we're up there showing our faces, asking for a lot, and we're getting good response. And that's it.
All right. Approval of minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on March 16th, 2023.
Move to dispense with the reading of the minutes.
Can we get a second?
Second, I'm sorry.
Over public hearing? No one's coming up for public hearing? Closed public hearing? We had a motion. Can we get a vote? Oh, we just need a motion in a second. Sorry.
Yay.
Yay.
All right, we got 4 yeas.
4-0.
All right, let's see.
Approval of minutes of the council meeting on March 16th, 2023.
It's open for public hearing. No one wishes to speak.
Move to
We have a
approve.
motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yay.
Thank you. We have 4 yeas.
No communications, resolutions. Proposed resolution number 2023-1. The following resolution was offered unanimously by the council of the city of Harahan. A resolution accepting the municipal water pollution prevention environmental audit report for the period of January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022, and to inform the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality that the following actions were taken and additional actions will be taken by the city of Harahan.
It's open for public hearing. Anybody wish to speak? No one wishes to speak. We close public hearing.
I have
Council
some,
discussion?
yeah, I have some comments on it. I had an opportunity to read it yesterday, and I think it needs to be cleaned up. The mayor indicated to me earlier today that it's a timely item, that it needs to be approved. And I haven't met Cody yet. Is Cody here?
Cody is here.
Cody, can you come up to the podium? I'm hoping we can clean up anything that might need cleaning up, but you can, I'm sure, shed some light on whether these issues are...
Yes, sir, of course.
Cody is our sewer director.
Cody, on page 1, and there's in the first paragraph, second line, there's an area, or at least on my copy, that's kind of typed over or something. I'm not sure, it's not clean. And if you could tell us what it means, it can be cleaned up when it's submitted if we approve it tonight.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm looking at page 1 on my copy, and it's just the instruction page.
Yeah.
And
And
line two.
item number 1, line 2,
I think y'all have the previous edition before it was completely edited. I have the most recent one from today here, or that I was given today.
Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
The one you guys had was the one that wasn't typed up, and Molly did type it.
Okay. Well,
All that's been fixed.
yeah, why don't you print that real fast if you could
It
for us?
says leave sections in the new revised issue. Look,
Okay, all right.
we have a bad copy, obviously.
I
Yeah.
can, I believe I can actually tell you, sir, exactly what happened on that.
Okay.
On page 11, my operator certification number, for some reason in the editing software, was added to that page in that exact spot.
Okay. And I'm on page 11 now, and I'm showing your certification number is 22-0771, is that
Yes,
correct?
that was edited
Okay.
on the first page
All right.
and overran it.
Yeah. All right. In the instructions in item 5B, it says this resolution must indicate specific actions, if any, that will be taken to maintain compliance and prevent affluent violations. Now, just keep that in mind, because as we flip through here, there was a section about what we were doing to rectify things that I believe was blank, at least on my copy. So now I'm just going to flip through and go to my next comment, which is, well, a positive comment, but not a question. On page 4, I'm looking at the affluent quality plant performance ratings, and they appear to be improving. I don't have last year's copy in front of me, but I think we've got improved performance in the water treatment system. Moving right along to Cody, there also, on our copy, there's a typo that might be fixed already on page 10. Design flow.
Same thing.
Same thing?
Same
Okay.
number on the same spot, if I had to
Great,
guess.
great. All right. Okay, page 12. 2 or 3 questions.
Okay.
And it may be okay as is, but it just wasn't clear to me. In paragraph A, are user charge revenues sufficient to govern operation and maintenance expenses? We say no. And if no, how are O&M costs financed? So in the response, okay, expenses are financed through property tax revenues dedicated to the sewer. All right, that's fine, I'm reading it now. In B, we say, what financial resources do you have available to pay for your wastewater improvements and reconstruction needs? And the DEQ loan is listed, but I believe the DEQ loan, Todd, is tapped out. So is it, do you have the DEQ loan on your final copy?
No, I do have it on my final copy. I was unaware that we had completely tapped out.
Well, sure,
that loan.
yeah. So if you would,
We can edit
we'll
that out
amend
there
this
for sure.
tonight. I think we should amend this tonight, and then you can edit it after we amend it. You can clean your copy up that goes to the state.
A copy doesn't actually go to the state, sir. It stays on facility with me in the event of DEQ asking to see a
Great.
copy of it.
Thank you for that information. On the next page.
So we're
page-
going to edit B.
Yeah, we're
column
going
B.
to amend it. I think we need to do it by amendment, I'm assuming.
DEQ loan only.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
we're
want to
gonna
make that
remove-
one amendment now,
Yeah, I'm happy to do that now. I propose that we amend the
open public hearing.
MWPP on page 12 by deleting in part 8, paragraph B, the words DEQ loan.
All right, we have an amendment for the wastewater treatment status to delete DEQ loan from Part B on page 12. It's now open for public hearing. No one wish to come up and speak, we'll close public hearing. Call for a vote on this?
That was, yeah, yay.
All right, we have 4 yeas on the amendment.
So,
right.
on the next page,
Sir.
line 13, I mean, paragraph 13, part 9, 2I, describe what lift station work has been done in the last year. We say none. Now, I believe we probably done a lot of lift station work in the past year.
Yes.
So what I'd like to do tonight is just come up with a very brief description, and then I'll propose that we amend for that also.
Understood.
So if you look in the next item, I mean, every lift station had panel upgrades.
This is the next 5 years. The paragraph above it says what has been done in the last year. But I mean, and I don't think we're going to list it all unless you add an attachment.
Cody, I guess the question there is, have any of the lift station projects been completed in this last year, or are they ongoing within the next 5 years?
Most of them are ongoing in the next 5 years, and realistically sooner than the next 5 years.
So the answer is none
No.
have been completed.
Well, it doesn't say what's been completed, but it says what lift station work has been
So
done.
none has been completed.
None has been
Within the
done
last year.
except for general maintenance.
So they're ongoing projects. is what
I
you're saying.
understand.
The only maintenance we did was change the pumps as need be.
I'm sorry, what was that?
We changed pumps as we needed to, as they would go out.
Right.
Which this past year has been better than years past.
Just put general maintenance.
I mean, we could put general maintenance and commence lift station, because I know we worked on lift station
We
repairs.
do, I mean, yeah, but it's
Right.
basic general maintenance, but we could add that in there.
Okay,
Move to amend Part 9, Section A, Roman numeral 2, to read general maintenance and repairs.
second.
All right. Open for public hearing, wastewater treatment amendment, Part 2, Section 9, to add general maintenance. Anyone wish to come to speak? No one wishes to speak, close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
We have 4 yeas.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else?
Attachment 3 on the last page. It's not numbered. It would be page 17, I believe. It's got 3 or 4 blanks that may be completed on your copy. Resolve the village, town, city of. Did we fill in city of Harahan?
I don't have a page 17 on this copy, sir.
This was a sample MW
Yeah, but
resolution.
Oh, okay.
Just a sample.
Thank you. All right. Then I'm done. That's it.
All right.
Move to approve as amended.
All right, so guys, we had 2 amendments on that, and I have a motion to approve.
Second?
Have a second. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. 4 yeas. Ordinance passed.
Thank you, Cody. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Proposed Resolution 2023-4. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Asbill, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Harahan authorizing the mayor to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with Stranded South LLC to host Harahan Music Festival at Sarang Park.
All right, we're now over a public hearing. Anyone wish to come speak on this matter? No one wishes to speak, close public hearing. Council discussion?
So this is a resolution, the same resolution we passed last year so that the Harahan Music Festival can have its event at Sarang Park. It is scheduled for May 27th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, May 27th at Sarang Park. Just ask, I know Mr. Buddy's got some comments and some amendments on it. Ask for favorable, after we review the amendments, ask for favorable passage on the resolution.
All right, does everybody have a copy of the proposed amendments?
And we can walk through them one by one, but I would say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the first 5 are ministerial, and I would ask that we approve those after public hearing and discussion.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, Jason, you want to address those after the,
No, I would say we go ahead and approve those if there's no discussion on them, if everybody's had a chance to review them.
Anyone else wish to have discussion?
Do you have some changes on this?
but, well, yeah, with Jason, I mean, if I'm understanding Jason correctly,
Yeah,
the
so-
first 5, we're going to approve
Yeah,
and then discuss the last 4.
I would move to approve the first 5 amendments on your amendment sheet, on your proposed
Yeah.
amendment sheet as listed.
Yeah, do you have a copy of it, Mike?
And just so the public knows, these are just simple word additions to kind of clarify things up.
It's not mine.
It's nothing really,
There should be a copy up here.
There you go. You can have that copy. If you want to open it up for public hearing, then. Wait. I think I probably need to read them.
okay, you want to go through the amendments?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do that. I mean, we need to read them before the public can comment. Amend paragraph 2.0 by adding the sentence, "Organization shall pay for or otherwise provide signage," to the end of the paragraph. The next one is amend 4.0 by adding small f period, "Notwithstanding anything contained herein to the contrary, city may terminate this agreement without notice, 1, for failure of organization to provide proper insurance, and 2, if a situation exists on May 27, 2023, where the city mayor in his sole discretion deems a situation exists which places or may place persons, property, or the welfare of the city at risk." The next one is amend 8.0 by adding the sentence reading, "Organization shall provide original certificates of insurance to the mayor, City of Harahan, no later than May 7th, 2023, period." I'm sorry, to the end of paragraph 8.0, after the words, "City may examine the policies at any time without notice." The next one is amend the second paragraph, second to last paragraph of 8.0 by deleting the words beginning in the first sentence, open quote, "prior to the commencing of any work," and replacing in their stead the words "prior to May 7th, 2023. And then the fifth one is amend the last paragraph of 8.0 by adding to the second line the words, open quote, "without notice immediately," close quotes, after the words, open quote, "city may be."
Mr. Tom, you can actually go one more.
One more?
Yeah.
So this be the sixth one. Amend 11.0 by adding the words, "shall be effective when deposited with UPS or recognized overnight carrier," and, close quote, after the words, open quote, "to be sent," close quote, in the first line.
I would move to approve those 6 amendments in globo to the proposed resolution 2023-4.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Call for public hearing. Over for public hearing. Anyone wish to come speak on the first 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 amendments to proposed resolution 2023-4? Please come up and speak. No one wishes to speak. We'll go to council discussion. We'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay. So we have 4 yeas for the first 6. And now we'll move on to the next 2 amendments.
The reason I proposed this amendment is because attachment A, which is really not made a part of, the terms of attachment A are not included in the agreement, but it's there and it's attached, and, I'm sorry, attachment A is referenced in the agreement. And attachment A says 2 things that I didn't understand to be correct. One is, it implied that the city was paying for a sponsorship, whereas the agreement says we're getting the sponsorship in consideration for this for allowing the use of the property. And the second thing is, in attachment A, which concerned me, was a clause saying that the organization, which is the organizer, was going to self-insure. And I don't think we should let anyone I mean, the organization is not financially strong enough to even consider self-insurance. That's like saying we're not having insurance. So, so I proposed an amendment to specifically state that the city is going to require insurance and that they're going to provide it, pay for it. That's the logic for the proposed amendments to paragraph 17 and paragraph 20.
So the first amendment was the deletion of paragraph 17 in its entirety. The city is not providing funding for the event.
Yes, sir.
I think that last year we did provide some funding in the respect of supplementing.
I think the council
Security.
and the police chief.
Well, in addition to our donation as a council, we supplemented security as a cost of the city.
Yeah, I recall that, yes, sir.
Yeah, so I would say that we leave that paragraph in, as that would be,
Or how about we change in the proposed amendment, Councilman, to say city is not providing cash funding,
okay.
because there is some understanding for security, and I don't know what else the city might be providing.
Yes, I mean, yeah, we will not provide cash funding to the event sponsor.
Okay?
But we will provide security,
We're going to provide security. Last year, I think we provided barricades as well, so we're going to provide
security and
the
barricades.
normal stuff that we.
Yeah, and I was aware that we did that
Barricades with the security.
last 2 years, I believe.
And then the last, as far as their insurance goes,
Yeah, I didn't draw the conclusion that they were self-insuring. I'm not sure where you see that, but I'm okay with adding that new paragraph if you'd like to. So it'd be adding new paragraph 21.0
It's the last paragraph in the, well,
under the insurance section.
it's in, yes.
Yeah.
Stranded South LLC is prepared to act as the insured while indemnifying the city. That's not written technically correct, but I think the intention there is he wants to act as self-insured. So I'm just doing this for belts and suspenders, to remove
Yeah, I think
any
that-
doubt.
Yeah, I mean, he probably didn't use the right words. but
yeah, I think he used the wrong terminology. I don't think he's trying to self-insure. I think he's saying that he indemnifies the city of any legal action.
Because it goes on to
based
talk
on
about
his insurance.
professional.
That may be it.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with adding paragraph 20.
Yeah, I am too.
Or
So-
adding paragraph 21 as stated.
And with the word cash installed. So I'll read these and so that we can open it up to the public. Delete 17.0 in its entirety and replace in its stead, open quote, city is not providing cash funding for the event. The next item is to add a new 20.0 to read, open quote, attachment A is intended solely for the purpose of generally describing the festival, period. Term and/or conditions included in attachment A are not made a part of this cooperative endeavor agreement, open parent, open quote, CEA, close quote, close parent, period. Specifically, comma, 1, city is not making a cash payment for a sponsorship, comma, 2, organizer shall purchase insurance as required by the CEA at its own expense, and 3, organizer shall not be allowed to self-insure the requirements of the CEA. You want to,
I move to approve the amendments as read into the record in
All right.
Globo.
do we need to
I'm
open?
going to open for public hearing for proposed amendments, proposal resolution 2023-4 for paragraphs 7 and 8 as was read. Anyone wish to come up and speak? No one wishes to come up and speak, we'll close public hearing.
Move to approve.
And we have a motion to move to approve as amended.
Was that-
Approve the amendments, I'm
Approve the
sorry.
amendments, yeah.
Yep, second.
Have a vote?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yay.
yay.
4 yeas approving the amendments, And now we're
There's
gonna,
no further discussion. I move to approve proposed 2023-4 as amended.
Second.
Yay.
all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
All right, we have 4 yeas, motion, resolution passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Proposed resolution number 2023-5. The following resolution was offered unanimously by the council of the city of Harahan. A resolution adopting the 2023 millage rates. Constitutional general alimony, 4.1 mils. 1977 general alimony, 1.61. 1982 general alimony, 2.34. Sewerage maintenance tax, 0.88. Fire protection, construction, and maintenance, 5. Sewerage, construction, and maintenance, 3. Police payroll, benefits, and expenses, 5. Total mills, 21.93.
We'll now open this for public hearing. No one wishes to speak on proposed resolution 2023-5. We'll close public hearing. Council discussion?
I have a question. I think I know the answer to these. Are the same millage rates as 2022, correct?
Yes, that's
Thank
correct.
you.
Get a motion to proceed.
Second.
Yeah, he hasn't answered our email, so I just wanted to
Okay.
proceed in case.
Gotcha. Okay. Move to approve.
Got a motion to approve?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Yay.
We have 4 yeas, thank you, guys.
Ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2023-5. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Asbill. An ordinance amending the Harahan Code of Ordinances, Chapter 90, Article 2, Division 3, discharge regulations relative to illegal discharge, fats, oil, and grease control devices, and waste haulers which service them.
Now open for public hearing, ordinance 2023-5. Anyone wish to come forward and speak? No one wishes to speak. Close public hearing. Council discussion?
So this is an
I
amendment.
want to comment that I think our regulatory director did an excellent job reviewing a very old ordinance and clarifying it, making it clearer, and putting some teeth into our ability to control this situation. So hats off to the administration and our regulatory director.
So I'll give you a quick, this is basically allowing our regulatory department to follow up with these restaurants and stuff who aren't following up, keeping their grease traps clean, which is allowing the grease to overflow, get in our sewer system, which is causing problems in our sewer lines and stuff. So that's the reason this was brought about, to give us a little more teeth to sink in to where we could deal with the restaurants with a little legal action.
We've got amendments in our packet. Did we make those amendments last time? We got to make those tonight?
Oh,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
the amendments, the red line amendments.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we gotta read that out. All right, guys, we're gonna have a few amendments to this ordinance right here. And then we'll reopen public hearing.
Who offered these amendments? Are these regulatory amendments? These are Mr. Buddy's amendments? Are these your amendments, Mr. Buddy?
What's that, I'm sorry?
Are these your amendments?
A couple of them are, most of them were Molly's, but I'm happy to read them.
But yeah, I just wanted.
No, I did make some, but Molly drafted a document, and then she and I met twice on it to
Okay.
just fine tune it.
I mean, I'm happy to read them. I just wanted
Yeah.
to be clear. They're not, I don't know whose they are. I'm happy to read them now.
They're, I
A
mean,
mixture.
majority of them are Molly's.
Okay.
But I did touch it, and we did talk about some verbiage.
All right, give me,
All right, give us 1 minute.
yeah, let me try to organize this in the most efficient manner. Okay, I'm going to say, here we go. Move to make the following amendment, bear with me. Section A, Section 90-85A shall read, "It shall be unlawful for any person, company, firm, or corporation residing or doing business for or in the corporate limits of the city or locations abutting its boundaries to dispose in any manner or discharge by any means waste matter or material substances in any form, regardless of nature, including but not limited to petroleum, oils, and byproducts, greases, chemicals, or their byproducts, and fog, hereinafter collectively referred as objectionable material, into the subsurface or storm drainage systems or waterways and the sewage system of the city of Harahan. The provisions of this section shall not apply to the outdoor washing of motor vehicles and/or household pets in residential neighborhoods. The provisions of this section shall not apply to human waste and toilet tissue flushed into the city of Harahan sewer system." Section B, after the word shall be reported, insert the word immediately. Section C, after the words the director of the, replace regulatory for maintenance. And after the words coordinating ordinance enforcement, delete the words with the regulatory director and. Section D, replace the words requested in the first line with the word directed. Section 90-86, remove the word enforcement from the title.
I believe the paragraph A was added, Councilman.
Yes. That's what I'm not sure of. Add a new paragraph A. All expenses incurred by the maintenance department, other city agencies, their agents, or personnel for the enforcement of this division shall be borne by the person owning or handling the unsafe premises or operation. Attorney's fees shall be added to the sum so expended. I guess that was section B. Renumber original section A to section B, and it shall read, all expenses for remediation, including any attorney's fees necessary and incurred in enforcement efforts shall be borne by the persons owning, causing, or handling. It's the same thing. Which one of those is correct? Does anybody know?
I'm sorry, was that a question?
Those two paragraphs are very similar. Do we know which one is correct? They're different, but they're. Think they both go? Okay. All right. Section 90-87.
Wait. B is not.
Yeah, the
So
city
it's just
attorney,
A, so B,
I'm not,
B is,
city attorney thinks that both of them should be,
okay, so B is not. So A is good, B is not.
I think both of them
Well,
should
he
be.
needs to be the second B then. You didn't finish B. You only read half of B.
well, he stopped
Oh,
reading
I
because he
finished.
thinks it's,
I finished, but I'll read it
Duplicative.
again. Section B, all expenses for remediation, including any attorney's fees necessary and incurred in enforcement efforts, shall be borne by the persons owning, causing, or handling the source of illegal discharge.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
they
Section
are
90,
similar. Again, that was, Molly was controlling the document.
okay,
I don't think it hurts to leave them both in there.
okay. Section 90-87, insert the word material after objectionable in the title. Section 90-87 shall read, no person shall discharge any objectionable material or other than, number one, rainwater and the wash water allowed by section 90-85 into the storm drainage system or waterways. And number two, human waste and toilet tissue into the sewage system without the approval obtained in writing in advance of said discharge of the director of the regulatory department or the director of the sewage department, respectively. I lost my spot.
And the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Section 90-88. On the third line, after the words "from the drainage system or waterways by," add the words "all necessary." After the word "means," add the words "including but not limited to." Delete the word "of." Section 90-90, A, after the words fats, oil, and grease, insert open parentheses, open quotes, fog, close quotes, close parentheses.
Does any of this pertain to residents?
Just
It would. Yeah.
Section 90-91, after the words in the title, specific provisions, insert the words fog waste, and delete the words fog, oil, and grease. Waste. Section 90-1-91, Section 1, delete the last sentence, which reads, "Such waste disposal facilities must have a state Type 1 and Type 2 permit issued by the Solid Waste Division of the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality." Section 2, replace the words fat, oil, and grease with the word fog. Section 4, delete. Section 90-92, delete the word, I'm sorry. Section 90-92, the title should read Inspection by Building Officials and Certified Inspectors. Add paragraph A. In paragraph A, after the words annual basis, insert comma, at the owner-operator of the facility cost, by an inspector certified by the Louisiana State Uniform Construction Code Council to perform such inspections. The inspection results shall be submitted each year with the business license renewal. In section B, add the word additional before inspections. Replace the word or with the word and. After performed without notice, add the words by the wastewater director and/or the regulatory director, comma. After the word fog, insert the words or objectionable material. After the words entering the, insert the words stormwater or. After the words faulty device, insert the words or from other causes. That's the end of the amendments. I move to adopt the amendments as read.
I'm going to open this up for public hearing, if anyone wishes to speak. But we follow Ms. Molly's guidelines.
Well, she brought a
Move to
lot to
close
the
public
table.
hearing, move to adopt as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Yay.
4 yeas, adopted as amended.
Proposed ordinance number 2023-6. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman, who would, Asbill, you
Yes,
said yes? Okay. An ordinance to place stop signs on Roseland Parkway at the intersection of Radiance Street and to place no parking signs on Roseland Parkway on the neutral ground in the 200, 300, and 400 blocks.
Open for public hearing. No one wishes to speak on ordinance 2023-6. Close public hearing. Council discussion?
You put this up for the intersection?
I have no discussion. No discussion? All in favor?
Nay.
Nay.
All opposed?
Nay.
Opposed?
Nay.
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 4 nays. Ordinance pass, ordinance fails.
Fail.
All right, proposed ordinance, oh, I'm sorry.
Proposed ordinance number 2023-7. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston and seconded by Councilman, who would like it?
Second.
Asbill. An ordinance amending the Harahan Code of Ordinances, Section 18-4, appearance bond fee relative to summons and traffic tickets.
I'd like to open for public hearing, ordinance 2023-7. Anyone wish to come and speak? No one wishes to speak, close public hearing for ordinance 2023-7. Council discussion?
Mayor, acting mayor. This is an ordinance that was passed back in the 90s. The state passed legislation back in the 90s to allow the municipalities in Louisiana to raise funds for the police department to help them with capital projects. And at the first time it was passed, it was $8 a ticket to help the police department on capital outlay projects. And then they raised it to $15. And back about 5 years ago, for some reason, it was taken off the tickets. The city collected it for like 20 years, and they were collecting funds to help the chief out to do what we wanted with the capital projects. Buy police cars, buy guns, do whatever he needed to do for the, buy bulletproof vests, whatever he needed. And now I'd like to bring it back because it was, for some reason, taken off the ticket 4 or 5 years ago, and it shouldn't have been. So I'm proposing again to try and get this back on the roll so the chief can get that extra funds from citations on tickets so they can use the money for things that he needs. So I propose this, bring it back to the city.
So your proposal is to add the fund summons or traffic citation to those types of bonds, is that right?
The tickets, yes, citations.
Okay.
Every other municipality in Jefferson Parish is doing it. They've been doing it for 20-something years.
Right.
Like I say, for some reason, one of our mayors took it off the tickets. And
Yeah, I think it was more than 5 or 6 years ago. I think it was closer to 8 or 9 years.
no, wasn't that long ago.
What?
No. No, but it was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Are there any restrictions on the funds for the chief?
No, it's for capital outlay projects,
So
whatever he wants to use
that's
for
what
capital.
I'm looking at the second, or the second paragraph here, and it says, it states the revenue from this fee shall be paid to the general fund of the municipality with all proceeds to be dedicated to a capital projects funds for the city police department. I would just, if it were me, there's a revised statute that's on point for this, and I would just say the revenue shall be payable as authorized in RS 33:2334, because it doesn't say anything about capital fund. I would just say, because it just says to the general fund for the police officers, or for the chief's discretion.
Well, I think it was
Yeah.
for capital projects. I think it was at the pull it, but I think it was, and I think,
Well, it does say capital projects, but I think that that's putting more of a restriction on the chief than what
no,
we
it's
can.
not. It was purpose for capital projects. But I think it's $13 goes to the chief, and I think $2 goes to the Louisiana Police Association.
Yeah, I
I think it
understand.
does. But, look, I'm just trying to get it back on the books so we get the money in
No,
for the
I
chief.
agree.
If the chief wants to use it, I'm just doing what the law was written to use for capital projects for the chief. All I want to do is get it on the books. Whatever y'all guys want to do, I don't care.
As a comment, for 3 or 4 years, this was discussed by the former police chief, the loss of it, how do we get it back? And on more than one occasion, it was discussed to purchase vehicles, capital projects. Now, I had never seen the state ordinance. Our city attorney, Scott, has looked at it and clarified that this money is going to be spent as directed, requested by the police chief.
Right.
I don't think wording in there saying with the primary focus of acquisition of vehicles by and for the city police department, comma, unless otherwise requested by the chief of police, ties the chief's hands. But we've had discussions about the necessity for a fund, a recurring fund to purchase police cars. The city's never had that. And the last time we got a reasonable amount of new police cars is when our current Harahan Councilman Paul Johnson was a councilman in Jefferson Parish. And with his discretionary funds over a multi-year period, I think the city bought maybe 10 police cars. 20 over an 8-year period.
Right.
So, but the city of Harahan has driven clunkers around, cars given to us by other police authorities. Again, for the last 10 years, we've had a pretty new fleet for Harahan, a great fleet, but they're aged now. So this was an opportunity to collect money that years ago was collected, it fell off the books for whatever reason, and earmark it for capital. Now, the police chief can spend it on whatever he wants, and the verbiage in this, as amended by our city attorney, as proposed amended by our city attorney, basically says,
That's your request, though.
it's requested by the police chief.
That's your request.
No,
You requested to put vehicles in there.
yes, but the words, yeah, I did it, but Scott, unless otherwise requested by the chief of police, I think it's Scott's wording, isn't
No,
it?
I had that in mind.
Okay, that was, so, okay. So mine was to, my proposed change was to emphasize the purchase of police cars.
Proceeds to be
It's a funding source, recurring, and it will probably, well, I'm not sure if there's an estimate yet. It'll probably buy 2, 3, 4 police cars a year.
Shall be payable to the general fund of the municipality.
I've been in contact with Senator Talbert and Rep. Big John Hill, and they're working to get us funding out of this session to help us buy the cars.
Yeah, and Chief, I think right now Louisiana is flush with money, and I'm hopeful and reasonably confident that you will get some state funds allocated to buying new vehicles. You don't have to spend this money in any particular year. So
Correct.
if the state were to give you 8 or 10 new money to acquire 8 or 10 new vehicles, and you determine that's all you needed, this money could sit, we could put it in the capital account for capital purchases, and you could use it down the road, and every year it could accumulate until you
Right.
need a tablet. But, so that, all this verbiage does is it puts the focus on purchase of vehicles. That's what you and I have had some conversations
Right.
about the need for a recurring source,
Right.
but it doesn't tie your hands. The
Right.
police chief has the authority to spend this money as you see fit.
Right. Well, I'm pretty conservative. I'm just not going to spend money.
I trust very much you will be.
Like I said, I don't care which way it's worded. I don't think we need to put cars and vehicles in there. I think the chief's going to do what he wants to do. He'll do it right. Right now, Chief's got about $170,000 in capital money. He can go buy 3 or 4 police cars. Because you got about $170,000. You got that $100,000 that council gave you a few years ago, plus the extra funds you had left over. So you got about $170,000. You got the money I told you about the accidents they had, that you got the insurance money, plus you had about $31,000 left over from that other fund.
Right.
So you got about $175,000.
Well,
Whatever way you guys want to do it, I don't care. I just want to get the $15 back on the
Yeah.
book.
And I haven't, the reason why we haven't spent that money yet is there's no vehicles in the state right now under the state contract.
That's what they, yeah, I heard
There are
that.
some available in Texas, but they are a little bit more expensive, and they're not under the Louisiana state contract. So we're trying to hold off as long as we can so we can get the cars locally here from Louisiana businesses, if not Jefferson Parish businesses.
So Chief,
Can I-
and Councilman Asbill knows much more about what I'm going to say and then he can comment on it. We used a Texas purchase contract to acquire the fire truck, to contract for it. So that same mechanism may be available for police cars.
There is a dealership in Texas, outside of Houston. They had 30 of them sitting on the lot, but they were several $1,000s more than what they were under the Louisiana state contract. And that's why I hadn't moved on them yet. I'm hoping something will come up in the state.
Well, I think this goes back to, it's at your discretion. You know, the money that Paul's trying to get back on the books, I think needs to be awarded back to the police department, like you said. It's at your discretion. You were voted in for the people. The people trust you, we trust you, and hoping you do the right thing with the money, and I think you're doing a great job. So,
Gentlemen,
Thank
if you would look at, I think the clerk, Ms. Carey, gave everybody a copy of this, revised statute 33:2334. And I'm looking at paragraph B1. It says, "The fee authorized in subsection A of this section shall be payable to the general fund of the municipality." Now, this is nothing that nobody up here's fault. But currently, the ordinance says all proceeds to be directed to the capital fund, capital projects fund for the police department. I think that that is more restrictive than what's allowed by state law. So I would propose that we amend to remove the words "to the capital projects funds," and it would just go to the police department's general fund to spend however he needs to spend it.
Absolutely.
It's the general fund of the municipality, so that would be Harahan. general
Dedicated to the police, it goes on to say dedicated to the police department
Yes,
for law enforcement purposes.
absolutely.
The ordinance we introduced, the one that was written in the 90s.
Right now, again, I'm just what I'm saying, it's
Whatever
no,
way you want to write it, I don't care. We just need to get it on the text.
We want to get it on, we want to get it on the books and cleaned up.
Whatever y'all want to do.
We have an
So-
amendment.
I propose,
I like Councilman Asbill's approach. There's a state statute. It may get argued one day that the city can say, I'm allocating it to a budget specifically for the police department. It may stay with an interpretation that it's on the police chief. But I think if we just adopt this or incorporate this revised statute into it, we can pass it tonight and deal with it as an issue of state law.
That's fine. I don't
Scott,
care.
do you
so,
have,
yeah.
do you have any comment on that?
I think Mr. Asbill's approach with the statute.
That's good.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Chief, didn't you get a copy of
Make
the
a motion to amend.
resolution, of the ordinances passed by the other municipalities? Didn't they send you a copy, or didn't you call them about the?
I called on them.
And
All
they
I have
told
is
you?
the two ordinances from the city that were passed currently,
Right.
that are
Look,
still currently on the book.
Whatever way you guys feel comfortable with, I have no problem.
All right, so I would propose that we amend the proposed ordinance to delete the second paragraph and replace it with the words, "The revenue from this fee shall be collected and payable in accordance with Louisiana Revised Statute 33:2334, period."
That's fine.
All right, we're going to reopen public hearing for proposed ordinance
Wait.
20.
I'm sorry. See, there are some proposed changes in the paragraph above that.
That's part of the original ordinance, that's part of the original proposed ordinance, so that's not a
Is it?
change, that's not a change to the proposed ordinance.
There, I'm sorry, whoops.
Oh, I'm not seeing that one. Oh, it's on the red line. I'm not looking at the red line because I didn't think we were doing any of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll move that amendment. We'll just do them separately. It's easier to
Okay,
do them
I agree.
separately. Yeah, I'll move that amendment.
Second, we have to open it up for the public.
Can we open up for public hearing for proposed ordinance 2023-7 for the amendments as read? Anyone wish to speak? No one wishes to speak, we'll close the public hearing.
Move to approve as amended. Move to approve the amendments.
Second?
All right, all in favor?
Yay.
We got 4 yeas, amendment is approved.
I'll also move on amendments to add the word recognizance after the words personal surety and signature.
Yep.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, can we open public hearing again for proposed ordinance 2023-7 for the second amendment?
There are 4 items, or
We
three
take one at a
different
time.
changes in that paragraph, Jason. You want to handle them all at one time?
Take one at a time, if you
Are we-
don't mind.
Oh, I don't
No,
mind.
summons and traffic citation are part of the original proposed ordinance, so that's not an amendment to the proposed ordinance. We're amending
Okay.
the proposed ordinance.
I just saw it redlined.
Okay. Does that make sense, though?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Public hearing, reread the ordinance, the amendment we're making right now.
Move to amend proposed ordinance 2023-7 to add the word recognizance after the word signature.
All right, we open for public hearing. Anyone wish to speak on ordinance 2023-7, second amendment? No one wishes to speak, close public hearing.
Move to approve.
Move to approve, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Approve second amendment to ordinance 2023-7.
So before we move on, just want to let the public know what this is doing. This is adding a $15 fee to every guilty traffic citation, summons, or person that's released on recognizance and found guilty. This is making sure that we collect from wrongdoers to the most we can allowed by state law. Move to approve as amended.
Got a motion to approve? Got a second?
Yay, second.
Got a second? All in favor?
There is one other one.
Yay. Oh.
I'm just saying it. On the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th line, as proposed, it reads disappearance bond fee. So the words appearance bond are inserted in, don't need it? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, now,
Okay.
now make the motion to pass the ordinance.
All right,
Second.
we got a motion to pass the
With two
ordinance as
amendments, right?
amended, with both amendments. We have a motion by Mr. Johnson, seconded by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay,
Yay, 4 yeas. Thank you.
all right,
As
Thank you,
amended.
Paul.
all right.
Ordinances for introduction. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain, proposed ordinance number 2023-8, and ordinance amending ordinance number 1959,
That's me,
the annual, I'm sorry.
that's me,
I think we're going to change that to Paul sponsoring that
that's me.
ordinance.
Oh, okay.
Councilman Johnson.
All right. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Johnston. Proposed ordinance number 2023-8, an ordinance amending ordinance number 1959, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023, for the general operating fund of the City of Harahan, Louisiana, Harahan Senior Center. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill. Proposed ordinance number 2023-9, an ordinance amending ordinance number 1955 to reduce the authorized amount from the ARPA fund for Lift Station 8 rehabilitation. Old business. Old business number 1, Board of Adjustment dismissal and appointments.
Is anybody here tonight to volunteer for the Board of Adjustments and Zoning? Anybody here to do that, to volunteer? Okay. Move to defer.
Move to defer.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
New business. New business number 1, Todd Turnion, Finance Director with monthly financials.
Good evening, council members. Here tonight just to give a brief update from the finance team. The finance team and the city hall staff have been busy, very busy the last two to 3 weeks, working with the external audit team. So we're right in the middle of that process right now. We expect they'll be out here on site for another week or so, and then there'll be the reporting wrap-up process so that we can file the report before June 30th, 2023. So far so good, but we'll continue to keep the council informed. The fire sales taxes continue to be higher than budget, although we have not received the April deposit. It's normally between the 15th and 20th day of the month, so I expect to get that hopefully tomorrow, and we'll send some notification out to the mayor and to the council members. That's the only update I had from the finance team. Happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Think we okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
New business number 2, a letter from Judith Romaine on behalf of St. Rita requesting assistance in planning the annual Feast of Corpus Christi procession. The procession is scheduled for Saturday, June 10th, 2023, after the 4 p.m. Mass. In the past, the City of Harahan has been most gracious to provide barricades and/or a police escort as we process around the block. I respectfully request the inclusion of this event on the City Council agenda to obtain the necessary approvals.
Over for public hearing? No one wishes to speak on public hearing? Council discussion?
Wait, before we, Chief, I'm sorry, I don't mean to, Chief, we got all this covered with St. Rita on the procession around the
Yeah,
block.
I just received this last week, but I was out. I had surgery. But, yeah, we're gonna take care of that.
Okay, I just want, I'm sorry,
Yeah, no.
man, I'm just
Yeah,
wanting
we'll
to
take care of that.
Got it.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Have a motion to proceed with the vote? You got a motion? Second.
Motion?
All in favor?
Yay.
4 yeas. Motion passes.
Where we go?
New business number 3, a letter from Rob Chong respectfully requesting permission for a block party permit for Saturday, May 6th, 2023, from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. for a Rummel fundraiser to be held at the Camp Bar. The neighbors this will affect will be notified in advance of our intentions.
Over for public hearing? No one wishes to speak. Close public hearing. Council discussion?
I have a question, and I suspect it's been addressed, but you've got a business down at the end of Hickory, the Shooters Club, that one of their busiest days of the week is Saturday.
So,
And I don't know if this sounds like a road closure?
okay, I'm gonna explain to you
I
how
just
he
found out about it.
I'm gonna explain to you how he's done in the past. They close one lane just so the band can do that procession to go down the street across. He has spoke with the other businesses in that area because we also have the reception hall across the street.
Yeah.
He needs to make sure they don't have a wedding or something planned. But he does coordinate that with these people, and we've never done this Rummel fundraiser, but we've done a half lane closure, and he does get police details to handle most of that. And
I mean, I know Rob, and I know he wouldn't do anything to disrupt a business. But I just wanted to discuss it.
yeah, no, I've had the discussion with him already.
Good,
Him and I both have had
good.
discussions.
So then,
Have a motion?
I would move to approve contingent upon him working out the plan with the police
Yeah,
department.
I'm going to make an attempt to go down and talk to Rob and make sure we understand how many people are they even expecting back there. That's going to dictate how many officers we're going to need back there.
So I'm going to explain, I mean, it says, does it say block party?
Yeah, it does say
It's
block
not a
party.
block party, basically. It's the Rummel Band's going to march from kind of
Your bar to
my place to the, yeah.
But it's not like it's going to be blocked for
2,300, they're marching down there, and then I think they're
For
going to
20
march
minutes,
out.
30 minutes?
Yeah, it's going to be blocked for 20, 30 minutes twice, is the way I take it, as I'm understanding, but
And your discussions with Rob he's already talked to all the other...
Rob's already talked to
the
some
other
of the neighbors, I
businesses?
know for sure, yes.
I'm sorry, what was that, Chief?
Rob Chung's already spoke to all the other
He
businesses that'll
spoke
be
to the
affected.
businesses, so he's, his intentions are good.
Oh, I know that.
Local match?
Yep.
Move to approve.
Yeah.
Got a motion to approve? Get a second?
Second.
Motion?
Second. All in
Second.
favor?
Yeah.
Yay. 4 yeas. Passes.
New business number 4, consider June council meeting date change. Proposed date change is Wednesday, June 14th, 2023 at 6:30 PM.
I asked this to be put on the agenda. We have some people that will be unavailable on that Thursday, so we're just looking to move it up a day to accommodate those schedules. We kind of put it out to the group. Nobody really had a real objection to it, I don't think, but if they do, it's,
Okay, over public hearing?
Is that the night of potential for appeals?
no. Yeah, there's no conflicts.
No.
All right, close public hearing? Council discussion?
Nope, good to go.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
4 yeas.
Address the council.
Oh, wait, might have had a name.
What was that? I missed. I was
I'm sorry.
I was open on the 14th.
The 14th.
I'm good.
Good?
Making sure.
4 yeas.
4 yeas?
All right, would anyone wish to address the council? Please state your name and address at the podium. You got 3 minutes.
I'll need that. Ken Lividay, 45 Sedgefield Drive. I had brought up the idea of the one-way street on Robert Street, that they're still coming down that one way. Almost had 2 accidents in the last month there already. We got to either paint something on the ground to stop them from making that turn on, off of Dickory onto Roberts. Y'all have signs up.
So I think we're gonna have to get with Jefferson Parish and the state on that.
Yeah.
Because it's bad. I mean,
Maybe
there was an
DOTD,
18-wheeler that
Jefferson Parish
came down
engineer.
during the week.
I had a discussion with Dino Bonanno in regard to that just a couple weeks ago. It is a state highway.
Okay.
So it is unfortunately.
Roberts is a,
Well, the highway itself.
Between the two.
We'd have to do the marking to stop basically a potential there. So
Right.
the problem is you need to get the DOTD involved, and unfortunately they're
yeah,
not
because it
real
used to
fast.
be striped,
Yeah.
and they
Well,
had barricades up and.
We can stripe the street and we can make adjustments on our side, but to stop that turn, to
Right.
do any markings on Dickory has to be done by the state. So,
Okay. The other thing is on St. Cyr, that drain is still loose. That thing's going to pop up and ruin somebody's car.
Cyr?
Hickory and St. Cyr.
okay,
I brought it up a couple of months ago, still, every time you roll over it, boop, 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 boop.
The drains off the street
No,
might get you for reckless operation of a vehicle.
when you roll over it in the street, it's on the street, it's on the corner, it pops up. You can hear it when you drive over it.
I will look at it, sir.
Okay.
I'm not recalling what you're talking about, but I will look
I
into
brought
it.
that one up a couple of months ago, too. And the other thing, we were told earlier about 194 Sedgefield, that things are happening with it, and we just want to make sure that it's on record that things are, because they're still operating there, even though the license has been revoked. There's still people going in there. It's still going on.
I just want to be clear that she has legal counsel. Her permit's been revoked. So in order for things to go as planned, she has to be in front of planning and zoning.
Right.
If she, she has every right, like every citizen, to, appeal her or anybody's decision, and that's what she's going to do.
Right. But if
So-
they've revoked her license, how can they still be doing business?
Well,
Is there any way that they can do a cease and desist order from the city?
that is a legal matter, and I just had a discussion with her attorney today. And I think that we're going to have to get our attorney and her attorney together to
Understand.
have that discussion.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Good evening, gentlemen. I just want to kind of piggyback on Mr. Liverday. I don't know if y'all are aware, but the door facing Jefferson Highway, she has already put up a new number on there, a new address. And I have it in my phone if you want to see it.
Well, we believe you.
So is it a legal address?
Is it a legal address, then?
We've seen it.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't know if that's a legal address or
I
not.
mean, but
We'd have to get with the post office to see if it's in the red bags.
the Galpins have always done whatever they wanted.
Yeah, I don't know that answer.
That's,
What is the address on that door?
7504. I saw it the other day.
Yeah, and she's still operating. What can be done to pull her and stop her?
Well, like you mentioned, that's legal now. We're the legislative
Look,
branch of government.
You're
Believe me.
right.
I've expressed my opinion on it already, but we got to go through the legal system now.
One thing that I think needs to be done is it needs to be mandatory that she show up as well
Show up for what?
for
Oh,
all the meetings.
She'll have to show up at planning and zoning,
Yeah, or
or
. Now, it's all going to get resolved probably in litigation, it seems. But it would, if the city decides to go that way, if the administration decides to go that way, it would potentially give the city something to negotiate with. I understand what you're saying, but I think that would have to be put into an ordinance, a resolution or something to get that passed, to where you'd be able to start fining someone $500 a day like that. I'm not saying we have anything like that on the books.
I think we may.
I think they do.
I think we may.
Something y'all would have.
Not sure.
Something would have to dig into. I don't know that answer. I mean, I wouldn't speak on that
If you
because I
got a
don't know.
business operating illegally, I would hope that it violates one of our many code of ordinances.
Well,
I'm sure we'd have the legal and code enforcement look into that.
That's what legal's here.
Yeah, that's why.
just understand this, that a permit was issued, whether the permit was issued and disregarded, the permit was issued. So as a legal statute, I'm sure, once something's done, it's not just, you can't just take it away and start fining somebody. You have to go through the legal process. So for us to just come back and say, oh, your permit's revoked, and now it's $500 a day, is not, going to fly.
Well, it's something for council to consider.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Ma'am, can you state your name and address one more time? I don't,
Rhonda, and I live on Generis. And I do work in the healthcare field, and I would be more than happy to meet with any of you all, because I know of things that are happening over there that's not legal. So I will be very happy to meet with any of y'all.
thank you. Anyone else wish to address the council? All right, we're now going to close address the council.
Jason.
Mr. Mayor, move to amend the agenda to add the total revenues under Secretary's report as $469,941.95.
All right. Open for public hearing? No one. No one wish to speak on that? Close public hearing. Second?
Second, I'm sorry.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
Agenda's amended.
Reports.
Chief Laprie?
I have a fire report, too.
You gonna make it?
Good evening, acting mayor and council and citizens. Apologize for being late tonight. I was at the VFW Hall. One of our officers, Lieutenant Eric Rivetta, was awarded the Police Officer of the Year award by the VFW, so I was there with the presentation of him receiving that award. That's why I was a few minutes late tonight. They also issued awards to several of the schools in the area, St. Rita, St. Matthew, Curtis, Harahan Elementary. Several of their students received Americanism awards and that type of thing. So it was a nice event they had down there. If you will, I have the, you can pass it down. And, real quick, we'll do the statistics real quick. Last month, we had 609 calls for service. We had 15 accidents in the city. This number I'm pretty happy with. We're getting the message out. We wrote 151 tickets last month, and that number's going up. A lot of tickets that are being written are from people outside the city, coming through our city, and our guys are doing a good job on patrolling. It's not where it needs to be, but we're working on it. We had 14 patrol requests. We had 50 misdemeanor arrests. We had a total of 102 charges last month, 11 felonies, 47 misdemeanor, 22 city, and 22 traffic. A lot of the felonies that you're seeing on there are coming from narcotic arrests. We're averaging probably 1 or 2 narcotic arrests a night. We made another arrest 2 nights ago on a convicted felon who was in possession of narcotics, a stolen weapon, and our guys are on the street patrolling. They're doing a great job, and I appreciate the morale. The guys are out, they're working together. They're really working as a team, and it's been a great thing to see. Working on training for them, getting them into different schools. The narcotic arrests are unbelievable. Like I said, we're averaging at least 1 or 2 arrests a night on narcotics. And some locals, but a lot of them are passer-throughs coming through, and they're making the arrests on traffic stops. We had 1 non-residential burglary, 4 larceny, shoplifting, and we had 4 assault, domestic, boyfriend-girlfriend type issues. The morale's up on the department. Things are working well. The renovation on the building next door, I don't know if some of y'all saw it coming in. They finally took down all the scaffolding. It's really looking good. That's going to be our EOC building. If we have a storm, a hurricane, we have outside agencies, other folks come in to help us. We'll have a place to put them up. We'll have a kitchen. We'll have a shower. We'll have a few bunks. We'll be able to communicate. I did take a tour of the EOC Command Center over in Gretna. The city of Harahan does have 2 seats at the table, Anytime there's going to be a storm or anything happens, Harahan has seats at the table. I'm going to be assigning 2 officers over there. They'll be on 12-hour shifts during a storm or as long as the emergency goes on. They'll have a bunk to sleep in over there, but they'll be giving communications directly back to the city as it's happening, as they're getting that information. I've also been instructed by the EOC that we'll be receiving 8 kind of like satellite radios. If our radio system happens to go down, we'll have radio communication through a satellite to the EOC, to FEMA, and into Baton Rouge. The 8 radios will be distributed between the police department's rank structure and the city council and a couple of the mayor, and as many radios as I can, because we all need to be in communication. One person knowing the information is not doing us any good. We all have to be working on the same frequency and the same page as we move forward. So we're trying to do this as a joint effort with the city and the council and the department and the fire department. We should be getting, have a meeting next Tuesday. We are getting 5 flock cameras, which are the crime cameras, radar detection cameras. We'll be able to log in to cars in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida on these flock cameras. If a car comes through here, it's going to notify us if that car has a stolen license plate. If it's stolen, it'll tell us the color of the car. It's actually going to come up on our phones in the cars, and it'll tell us exactly what that car looks like. The cameras are so unique now, they'll be able to identify a person's recognition of their face.
That'll work for child abductions, anything
Everything.
like that. We'll
Right.
have that license plate.
Exactly. So it's a pretty amazing city. I got to thank Dino Banana, our councilman, and the Jefferson Parish Council. They are doing a joint endeavor, I guess you want to call it, with the city of Harahan, the Harahan Police Department, and Jefferson Parish. They're going to help fund and pay for those cameras. There's only 2 municipalities in the southeast Louisiana right now that does not have them. Harahan and the city of New Orleans are the only 2 agencies currently that don't have these cameras in place. Once we get them, we'll be able to log into Kenner's cameras, Jefferson Parish's cameras, Plaquemines Parish, St. Charles. So it'll be like we're not just getting 5 cameras, we're getting 10,000 cameras. But we're working to strategically place those. I don't want to say where we're going to put them at this time. It defeats my purpose, but they will be out there. We will be tracking and hopefully sending people that want to come to our city. We'll send them back to where they need to go. Earlier we spoke I spoke with Senator Talbert and I spoke with Representative Big John Egg. They are working on funding for us. I know Big John, he's talking somewhere 160 to 170,000 in discretionary funds that he may be able to send to the Harahan Police Department to help us with our needs. Every time we hire someone, we need to buy them a new bulletproof vest. Those are about a $900 investment. But it's a crucial piece of equipment that these guys, we've got to have for them. There's a lot of things we're working on updating, improving. Things are moving along well. We're very pleased with the citizens. I've received a lot of phone calls from the citizens and neighbors giving us praise, saying they've seen a lot more cars in the area. We have been successful enough to hire a few more officers. I'd like to get 4 or 5 more if possible. But again, I'm very conservative and I got to watch my pennies and my dollars to make sure we can afford to bring them on. But as a city, if we want to protect ourselves, we're going to have to invest in the police department and in our city to keep us safe. I am working on an emergency preparedness plan for any upcoming storms that may happen. Hopefully we're saved again and we don't get affected. But I am working with the mayor, the council. I want to sit down and we're starting to put together a plan to what are we going to do, who's going to do what. If the storm's 120 hours out, what do we do at 96 hours, and so on and so forth. We did get returned today. We had 4 generators in the back that were, I don't want to say neglected, but they weren't running. We received 1 of them back today. It's running at full capacity. The second generator they have, it will be back to us by hopefully the middle of next week. And then the third generator, they just picked up today to take across the river. And we're going to be able to get that one up. The fourth generator, we're clandestine, taking parts off of that one to make these other ones run. So we will have 3 generators up and running, heaven forbid, but if we need them, they will be available to us. Like I say, I'm working on a plan. I want to involve our local businesses, our gas stations, and residents, and I want to put together a few lists. If you're going to evacuate, let us know a number, your address. We'll check on your house. If you're going to stay, let us know you're staying. But I'm working on putting that together now, and we'll put that out for public notice. But I want us all to be working together. It's tough for me to get everybody to sit down together because I can only have 2 of you at a time. But like I say, I want to make sure we're all on the same page. If something happens, we'll know what to do, and we'll know what the right hand and the left hand are both doing at the same time. But I appreciate the support. I appreciate everybody's hands-on. I thank the citizens of Harahan for their encouragement and their confidence in me. But if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Y'all start doing school zones a little more?
I got a call this afternoon. We just put the radar trailer. We finally got that fixed. Somebody ran over it, and they destroyed it. I don't want to say they did it on purpose, but we finally got it working again, and it was just put on east this morning. And we're going to be working more enforcement on the school zones. It seems like the St. Rita issues have kind of calmed down a little bit, but we're still being proactive, patrolling those, and we are working on east. I did get a call today from a gentleman, and as soon as he called me, I had him take the radar trailer over there. Hopefully it'll be a deterrent. And like I told the gentleman, if we have to go out and write 4 or 5 tickets to get the message across, we will, you know. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, Chief St. Cyr is absent, but I believe Councilman Ricks has a report from the Fire Chief.
Yeah, he sent me a report today. He sent me 3 months of reports, but I'll just read the latest. So,
Can you get a little closer, Mike? Thank you.
there was 35 incidents in Harahan. He had 2 grass fires, medical assist EMS 14, motor vehicle accident with injuries 1, lock-ins 1, electrical wire and equipment problems 1, arc and short electrical equipment 1, public service assistance 5, public service 1, assisted invalid 5, smoke detector activations 2, detector activation 1, and alarm system activations 1. And that's the end of that report.
Thank you, sir. Can we get Councilman Asbill? You got any reports?
Just an update on the upgrades going on at the playground. The Arsenault Field is playing. They're playing on it now. The Dixie Youth Field, which is the one closest to 10th Street, they've laid all that grass. They rolled it out. It should be playable by May 1st. So our youngest, or excuse me, not our youngest, our 9 through 12-year-olds are going to be playing on other fields until May 1st. And May 1st, when the season really picks up, they'll start playing on that field. We'll be welcoming other playgrounds to that park. If you haven't driven by there recently, if that's not part of your normal route, please do drive by. It's looking really good. I think it's looked the best I've ever seen it look. And my wife, who's been here longer than me, it's looking better than she's ever seen it look. So we're excited about what's going on at the playground. And on May 1st, like I told everybody at the beginning of the year, I'm going to start pushing to where we get that gym ready for the fall sports, because that needs to be back opened as well. So we're going to keep the pedal to the metal and keep everybody under pressure to get this done. Thanks.
Councilman Buddy?
No comments, thank you.
Councilman Johnson?
Yeah, I just want to say the playground's looking good. I ride by there every day, and it's really looking nice. They got the new fences up, and got the field looking really sharp. Chief, I want to mention those generators that you're talking about. I got those generators after Katrina. So those generators over 16 years old. And the ones at City Hall and the Senior Center and at the fire station. And the generator at the sewer plant, that one's 450 kW. That was purchased after Katrina, too. So these generators have lasted quite a long time.
Right. Well, the generator folks, they told us now they're up and running. He said, we just need to make sure
That we can fix them.
we just need, somebody needs to go out and turn them on every couple of weeks, just to let them run.
Supposed to be checked out every so often.
Right.
We did it years ago. We used to go out there. The guy used to come out, like the city hall generator, they used to come out every month and check them, and
Right.
they'd go in every week. And those ones in the back, for some reason, over the years, they quit maintenance and like they
Right.
were doing.
Right.
But God, I'm glad here they're back up and running.
They're up and
after
running, and
years.
I'm working with the mayor to see about having them come check the main unit for the building here to make sure it's going to be up and running.
Well, that,
I've been in that back office now since January. I haven't heard it come on once. So I'm assuming it
every
works.
week. It's not coming on every, it's supposed to come up every week. It comes
Well,
up.
unless I'm not there, maybe it is. I don't know.
Maybe you're slacking.
You need to
Maybe
check it
so.
out.
It's probably only running for 10 minutes.
It runs about 15,
Mine runs
20
15 minutes every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock in the house.
It comes on a certain time every week.
Sure.
And it's supposed to, I think the mayor's got somebody coming out there every
They
month
do.
to check it.
Yeah.
I think he does.
Okay.
But that's
I just want to be prepared.
Nice playgrounds looking. Chief,
Yeah.
doing a great job.
Thank you.
Councilman Ricks?
I'd like to say, number one, Chief, I think you're doing a great job out there. Jason, like you said, the playground, I've been out there a long time. It looks better than it's ever looked. Cody, the sewer plant's coming along well. I know there's a lot of work being done, and we appreciate your efforts there. I'd like to recognize Brian Wallace as well. Brian has been doing an incredible job trying to get some things together with the parks and some of these monumental tasks that have been put upon him. So I'd like to recognize him in particular. He's a great person to know and to work with, I would like to say that. But on top of everything else, with this city council, this mayor, I've seen more stuff going on this year than I have seen in a long time in the city, with street repairs, the playground repairs, the red building next door, the police chief, is doing a great job here, getting this department back up and running to where it needs to be. But there's a great group of people working on your behalf every day of the week. I know not everything, and we talk about Sedgefield, and not everything works so smoothly sometimes, but just understand that the greatest efforts are being put forth for behalf of the citizens of Harahan, and I know we're working really hard to make things better every day. That's it.
All right, I'd like to recognize the mayor, Bodie in the back, showing up 2 hours late for the meeting. So we'll recognize him first. And I'd like to say, I asked this council up here to take it easy on me tonight. They sure had a lot of amendments and stuff in here they threw at me real quick, and I hope I did a good job. I enjoyed doing it. St. Rita has a car show food fest on April 29th from 10 to 3. Stop by. I want to say they're going to have numerous foods to eat. I think it's going to be a $8 or $10 entry fee, and you can taste all these different foods, look at all the different cars. But I think that's about it. Thank you.
No. Pay bills.
Pay bills?
Bills paid in March 2023, total expenditures, $791,467.33. No executive session, adjourn.
Hey, motion to adjourn, man.
Second.
Meeting closed.
Yay.
Yeah, yay.
I got it.
Yeah, yeah.